Hi there, you lovely lot, and Happy New Year to you, 2026. Welcome to Pat's Procrastination, episode 84, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. I do hope that you will spend 2026 rating, reviewing, and subscribing. So here we are, folks. First one of the new year, coming off a win. Victory, where are we? It's Tuesday, yes. Victory Tuesday, technically. Number 2 seed. Plenty to talk about, I think. I am your host, Clazzy Clare. He is your host, Chudders. Chudders, how are things with you?
Well, also welcome to our first ever postseason Pat's Procrastination show.
Oh,
We've finally been around when the Pats have been relevant.
I suppose we've done shows in the postseason, but not the Pats have been in the postseason. So yeah,
Bingo.
It's our first properly Patriots postseason. So there you have it, folks. That's it. That's all there is to talk about. We're done.
Did you enjoy the game, Claire?
Did I enjoy the game? Yes, it was mostly a very good game. They played professionally. They needed to do what they'd done. They needed to go out and win. They needed to not sort of sit back on their laurels, as people say, and sort of expect to win because they were playing a worse team, that sort of situation. They executed the way that they have in every other game, or most of the other games this season. And that was key. I think it was key for a lot of reasons, really, particularly the morale in the locker room and stuff like this. I do enjoy watching that, and it is so fun to feel like that sort of camaraderie and that connection and things that they've got. I think I'm not going to bang on about it because I think I mentioned it plenty of times on this show so far, because the whole Vrabel effect, it is a pleasure to watch. Now, plenty of negative people can say that, yes, well, when they're winning, it's easier to be all kind of knitted together and we're all we need and all that kind of jam. But this is how it is. You can't be, it's not, we don't have the alternate universe to check what it would be like. It is what it is, and this is what we've got. So there you go.
So who's on your good list from the weekend?
Who's on my good list? The fact that they got a lead early is on my good list. It's technically a thing, not a whom. And then it goes Stevenson is next. Stevenson was on my good list. I think it's good. It feels like it's a good thing for him as well, because he came off the situation with the drops, and he's had some issues within his career, but he is a very good running back and he has the potential to be super duper and things like that. Or he is super duper sometimes. And it's just that he's been plagued with sort of those little niggles, which have created a lot of issue. And he's had to sort of step up and carry a lot of the running back load for the simple fact of injury. Losing Gibson so early was a big deal. So then it fell on Stevenson and Henderson. And then unfortunately, Henderson with the concussion protocol, I think, was his 2 injuries. Obviously not his fault, not blaming Henderson in any shape or form, but it's just unfortunate. And then you're left with one. Then there was one, and he's really sort of stepped up, and I think that's good, and definitely extra kudos to him for that.
I'd agree. I thought he had a stellar game, 150 all-purpose yards. Excuse me. In 3 touchdowns. It was a great day for him. It was good to see him dominate, go into the postseason with some form, because I think that's an area that the Pats are going to need to rely on heavily.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be able to play like the way they did at the weekend in the postseason. It's never that easy, that straightforward. But if you're able to go into these games against better and better and better opposition with such a strong running game, that's really going to stand you in good stead in the postseason. That's going to free up your arms and receivers as well if you've got such a strong run game, by having such a threat on the ground. So no, that was very, very, very pleasing to see. And I think linked to that was probably the O-line play. Go on, yeah.
No, carry on.
No, go on.
I have written down here that I need to sort of say, I need to do like the I told you so dance, kind of ish, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to subject people to that. My Bradbury take at the beginning of the season isn't looking so bad and so bold now, is it? Told you he was going to be a guy.
I stick by what I said the other week. Your take was this is going to be the breakout season for him. I think he's been good, but I don't think he was like in the doldrums before this.
You're just you're losing so many sandwich bets.
I am, and I'm pleased to be losing that many sandwich bets. That's the difference. It's a good position to be in that we lose them all. No, he's good. It's obviously good to have Campbell back as well. Left tackle, solid game, I thought. You're getting the pieces back. Obviously, Spillane, Landry, and Tonga as well didn't feature. But the thought is that they should be available for the postseason now. That was almost another rest game for them. So you're getting your big cornerstone pieces back at the right time. You obviously had
Williams back.
But yeah, Williams.
Yeah. Is that where you were going?
Obviously, he was completely left alone for his sack, and just completely unmarked, which is ridiculous. But you're getting your pieces back at the right time. Potentially, things are clicking at the right stage for the Pats.
I would like to throw out there that there was a very good block by Bradbury, and it was in the very, very, very end of the first quarter. It's the Stevenson touchdown, actually. Bradbury with the great outside block, I think you'd class it as. He went from center and he took the guy that was coming round, and he kind of made a great hole for Mondre. And so I'm giving his little kudos for that, because I think he's a good player, and I think we've got this good. And I still think I deserve an extra sandwich for that take.
Absolutely no chance of that whatsoever. But you can keep hoping. You can keep hoping.
So mean. So
mean. Yeah. So what did you think of your tight ends in the day?
What did I think of my tight ends? They were good. They were good. Yeah, they were good. I feel like you're asking me. I feel like I'm falling into a trap here of being asked.
No. But, 5 for 5, 56 for Henry. Again, he was kind of the go-to guy when Drake needed to. Hitting him over the middle. There was 1 for 1 for 5 for Hooper. It was a nice little catch there. Was it on 4th down, on 3rd down? I think it was for Hooper's catch. So it was it was a good day for your tight ends. You're happy with the season they've had, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have concerns.
Oh, go on.
I don't want to voice them too much. I have concerns.
I want you to voice them because this is your speciality. So here is the place, Claire, where you can voice your concerns.
It was no, it's just of the longevity of Hunter's career now, because he's been banged up again, and that I've got to admit I'm trying not to sort of fall foul of it, but I am concerned of. Yeah, I don't like it.
By any chance, do you therefore think the Pats should maybe draft a tight end?
I think the Pats should draft a tight end high anyway, because it's a need for the future. We've had this discussion for the last 7 years or something, when they haven't paid attention to quality tight ends, which I am sitting back at home watching break out on other teams, all the guys that I thought were good. So, and that annoys me. And he swore that. But yeah, no, taking it back. They were good. Hooper played well with the blocking as well. So
okay.
Hunter with the 29 yards after the catch and stuff. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes now because I hadn't written tight ends down.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. What Claire adjectives did we get this week?
Is this going to be a thing now?
That's exactly what I said last week. This is a thing now. We got a new Lala. We got a sexy. We had something last week and I've already forgotten what it was.
What did we have? Oh, I thought it was just part of my notes. In the first quarter, when Williams took down a runner, apparently the commentator said that the Pats had paid Milton Williams $1 bazillion, which I thought was so crazy for a commentator to, yeah. There's no words. There's nothing.
Okay.
No.
Nothing really bounced out the page for you this week. Receivers. Are you happy with the call Pats have got? I think they had a good day.
I do like our wide receiver room. Oh, there's a Raw. Oh, yeah, there was one.
Go on
in
then.
the fourth quarter. Tavai with the takedown, he turned and tossed somebody, and I went, ah! So yeah.
Oh, we got a Raw. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Katy Perry Raw, wonderful.
I'm not Katy Perry, but yeah.
No,
so, yeah.
we're not Katy Perry fans.
Oh no, I didn't say I didn't like. I don't feel it's very fair to her to compare me to her.
That's of course not. No, she's not that classy.
Did I make? No, I did that the wrong way around.
No. That's fine, Claire. You
I mean, no.
Pop yourself on that pedestal.
Oh, don't be so ridiculous. I did that the wrong way around. It's too freaking early for this kind of crap, quite frankly. You know what I meant. Nobody thinks I'm that bloody big-headed. Really, can we go back to football and stop?
Regardless. What list have you got him on? You
can't blame the kicker for someone getting through the line and blocking a kick. You cannot blame the kicker for that. You want to argue?
Did I? So we're blaming the special teams operation?
Yeah, we're not blaming the kicker. He kicked it quickly. I rewound it several times and watched it. He kicked it quickly. It wasn't on the kicker. That wasn't on the kicker. I don't see how you can blame Borregales for that. It wasn't good, don't get me wrong, but I'm waiting for you to blame Borregales and put him on the bad list for that. And I'd like you to explain to me right now how you blame the kicker for something like that. And then the blocking was tighter with the 59-yard field goal that was made.
Okay,
finished.
So I'll explain how you can blame Borregales. The trajectory was wrong.
Oh my God.
So it was a lower angle.
There you have it, folks. This is the last Pat's Procrastination there is going to be forever.
I think it was a good play by I can't remember who it was in the Finns that blocked it. I agree. The Pats could maybe block better. Don't let these guys get up that high, get that close, give that option. But Borregales, again, should not be getting the ball anywhere near their hands. That said, I'm not putting him on the bad list. It's just a concern as a whole operation that, again, we are missing a kick in another game. I don't want that happening next week. In the playoff, these games are not going to be these blowouts. I don't think. Maybe they will be, but I don't think they will be. One kick could be the difference between you winning and losing a game, whatever the reason, whether it's blocking assignment, whether it's a penalty on a special teams operation, whatever the reason is, you hope that it doesn't come down to this. You've just seen it decide the playoff fate in the Steelers and Ravens game. I don't know if you followed that. Loop missed the kick, which again you should argue he should be making that comfortably, and it ended the Ravens season. I don't want the Pats to be in that position next week or the week after or the week after. That said, he then made the 59-yarder, was it?
Yeah,
I think
it was better blocking, and he made a 59-yard field goal.
There was
points on the board. Yeah.
And that was quite a low trajectory kick as well. He went with a lot of power, but he was able to get that over the line and through. That was good to see. And that's it. Obviously not in a dome. That's outside in the cold in New England, because obviously it's a lot easier to kick in the domes where the weather's not a factor. So a 59-yarder outside like that is kind of just as impressive as the 67 that happened this weekend for, I want to say, the Jags. It was good to see that that's then an option. Should you be in a position this coming weekend, obviously depending on wind and everything else, but you've got a big boot there. Should that be required as an option? Happy. Punting. Jake Bailey didn't have a great day, so that was good to see. Another expat helping out a team. Cardona, is he fine? You're just disappointed to see him in a Finns uniform.
Yeah, and then I didn't pay any attention to him whatsoever.
There you go, see? you forget when they move on.
I don't, actually, but you don't pay attention to what I say. So anyway, are we moving on to the bad at all? Oh, no. Have you got any more good?
Yeah, who's on your bad?
May was on my good, by the way.
I would agree.
But he's been on the list all the time, so it's a bit like some weeks I haven't put him on.
Do you think he should, and do you think he will win MVP?
I think that he should. I don't know if he will.
I don't think he will. I agree. I think he should. The Pats have turned around so vastly this season, and he's not the only reason, but he is the cornerstone to that. He's just won the division for the first time in 5 years. Is it 6 years? For the Pats, it's not like you're a team that's a perennial, title chaser. He's been the absolute linchpin with his arm, with his legs. It's helped. I don't, as much as you might hate it and roll your eyes, it's helped. The Pats have had an easy schedule. Oh, what does that one finger mean?
This easy. I have some information. This easy schedule stuff, because obviously the narrative is around Drake May versus Matthew Stafford. That tends to be the given at the moment. Now, obviously, it might not be one of those two. It could be somebody else. But generally speaking, if you look at the narrative, mostly social media and such, the narrative is May versus Stafford. Now, like you, obviously, there's an element of bias being a Pats fan, but I try to look at it objectively, that the Patriots, that May has pulled the Patriots out of worse than Stafford has with the Rams. So he's already been the more valuable player to that team. So that really is the theory of what it is, MVP. And when you go on the schedule, if you want to look at that in regards to the teams that the Patriots and Rams have got in common, so the 6 opponents that they've had in common, of those opponents, Drake May has won 6 of 0 and Stafford 4 of 2. Completion rate, May 70%, Stafford 67.2. I'm taking these stats from a tweet that Evan Lazar put out, so naming my source. What have we got here? Total. How did I put my glasses on? Total yards per game, 292.3 for May and 255.8 for Stafford. And the EPA drop back is plus 0.26 and plus 0.8 for Stafford. So in general, when you're looking at comparing the opponents of the Titans, the Ravens, the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons, May comes out better. So when you compare the information that you can compare, the teams that they have played in common that you can compare, May has come out better. So he's pulled a team further with what people would argue is less. He has less than Stafford has. And he's done better against common opponents. So it's sort of, for me, it's like, well, the facts are there that May has been a more valuable player to the Patriots than Stafford has been to the Rams. I'm not saying Stafford doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying he hasn't had a good season. I'm not saying anything bad against him. I'm saying when you put the information, the actual facts, you throw your opinion out the window and you put the facts on the table, May has done better. But it's a human decision. So there's the human side of it. We need robots like yourself.
We agree.
Then again, you have feelings when it comes to sports people.
We agree that May should win it and that probably he won't. All I'd say on the stats is if you just want to go on the 3 most raw stats of touchdowns and yards and completions, is it? I think, which arguably are potentially the 3 biggest stats when you're trying to pick out a quarterback, then Stafford wins. I agree with what you're saying, though. If you paint the picture with more color of, mutual opponents and adding in running yards with your legs, like I fully agree it should be May. But if you want to go on the most basic raw stats, then the answer is Stafford. To be fair to him, I think he's got a much better offense to be working with in terms of weapons on as his receivers. That helps him out in Stafford's favor.
Somebody said if you put Jimmy G in they'd have the same sort of record or something. Someone was saying. Now, obviously, you can't really test that, so that's just like throwaway comments. Anyway, we need to move on as we're going to run out of time.
That's fine.
Do you have any bad?
One last good I want to throw out there is Josh, because I think there was a lot that he put on tape for trickeration, should we say? There was flea flickers, there was a few swing passes, there was some screens. He put a few new things in the bag on tape, and I think that's deliberate. Where in a game where you didn't necessarily need it, you could win the game without it all. But I think he was trying to, one, just practice the operation of them, and two, put it on tape so that we know now it's the Chargers, but essentially whoever we were going to play and whoever we may play in the off season, they've got a lot more to be learning, and different looks are going to have different outcomes as well. So it seemed a good game from his perspective to put a lot out there on tape for people to be scouting.
I do not disagree.
Excellent. So yeah, who's on your bad list?
The defensive hiccups, and then I put injuries. So it's hard to put things on the bad list when you were like, 38-10 or something.
Yeah, that's fair. Ewers at times was able to move the ball a bit when they went down and scored touchdown, and then they were obviously going down again, but got the interception in the end zone. At that point, you thought, should he really be able to move the ball? And not just him, but as a whole offense for the Dolphins, were you really expecting them to move the ball that easily against us with backups in? Obviously, they didn't even have Waddle in. They didn't have Achane in. That was a bit of a worry for me in that first period. But obviously, the Pats ended up blowing them out in the end. Go on.
But but did that situation happen because so many of the top starters weren't there? You know how you mentioned at the beginning, Spillane, Tonga, who's the other guy? Landry are all out. So are we looking at a situation where it's a collective that's necessary as a collective, and we're seeing the fact that the impact that they're having? Because before Williams, sorry, let me finish my train of thought. Before Williams came back, they were struggling a bit against the run. You saw the difference with Williams in and Williams not in, particularly against the run. So it's a case of, are you looking at a situation where the second man up is sort of struggling to fill the shoes of that guy?
Yeah,
and
I think that's fair.
It's that. And there was one name on my bad list, but he's potentially a starter, to be honest with you. And I don't think Carlton Davis had a great game. He got smoked before the holding penalty, didn't have the speed, and he swung around. I haven't noted when it was, but he was trying to make a stop, but he just kind of swung around and completely lost the guy as if he was kind of covered in Vaseline or something. So he didn't have a great game. Is it that he's...
he's tailored off a bit this season. I had a bit higher hopes
with it,
than he's produced. And he's not been really bad. But he's also not been as quality as I anticipated he would be, or thought he would be, going into the season.
Are we a subject of the gap between the starters and the next man up? Are we on the defense? Are we having a bit? Because we didn't. to put it in context, we didn't see as much with the O-line, which I think we probably would have expected when they lost Wilson and Campbell. As great starters as they are, there wasn't that drop off on the O-line as much as maybe you would expect because these were our top guys. Whereas the defense, which I think we maybe had a bit more confidence in, particularly going into the season, it's as if as soon as you've lost those couple of starters, it really seems to make a difference. It's a bigger gap between. Sorry, waving my arms around a lot.
Wave away, that's fine. And I mean, as a whole, it might also speak to the
coaching
the coach up, the shaking they've had on there, the coordinator stepping up to be the positional coach stepping up to be a coordinator. How much are they actually running it compared to how much of an input is Vrabel having? Like, that whole side of the ball has been slightly disjointed. Is probably maybe an overreaction, but it's not been as smoothly coached and been able to handle.
Just lacking.
The offense, isn't it?
It's been lacking. Spillane didn't start off as well as he wanted to, and then when he really kicked into gear, we lost him with injury, and he was one of the cornerstones of the defense to like navigate.
Your man Gibbons nearly had an interception, didn't he?
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
I agree.
He's one of my faves on defense. Definitely one of my faves. I mean, you gotta love this team in general.
Even anyway, Marcus Jones coming up with the sack. Was it sack or TFL? No, it was a sack, I think, wasn't it? That was brilliant.
I think so.
Little man off the corner.
That was funny. It's like the smallest guy ran all the way through and got to him. I love things like that. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot about that. That's great. So yeah, hopefully, moving into the discussion. Have you got any more bads? Can we move into the discussion of the Chargers before we run out of time?
Okay. So what I say before we actually get to the Chargers game, as a whole, and the postseason, are you pleased that we won't face the Bills until the championship game now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree. I think that's a good thing. If you've got to that stage, you've won 2 games, you'll be...
Yeah, I don't want the anxiety.
Well, it makes it even more of a high-pressure game, higher stakes game, obviously. So it's, it'll be all or nothing at that point. It'll hurt even more if they lost it.
I haven't noted. I meant to write that down. Who the Bills play first? Because obviously,
Jags, isn't it? I think. Bills go to the Jags. Obviously, we host the Chargers, and the Steelers host.
Fun.
Who the Steelers host?
Texans.
That's it. Who are you picking in those 2 games out of interest, then?
Oh, God.
I think the Texans will beat the Steelers.
I struggle because there's too much emotion involved in those.
Okay.
Differentiating the talent of the team against my actual desire for who I don't want to go through. It's too amalgamated.
Who do you not want to go through then?
I want the Bills and the Steelers to lose.
Okay.
Because obviously I can't stand either team. So I want those to lose.
The Steelers is an interesting one because I hate the Steelers the most. But I even though we've beaten them relatively recently, I almost fear the Ravens more. So at the weekend when they were in, win in advance, essentially, almost their playoffs almost started a week early. I wasn't sure who I wanted to win because I'd love to have seen the Steelers get knocked out, essentially.
Yeah.
But I do respect the roster and that Baltimore has and the fact that they possibly could just turn it on. So I was kind of pleased that they're out because if we're playing the Steelers, I'd fancy us to beat them. I know we didn't earlier in the season, but I'd fancy us too.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, this is the thing.
And it's kind of similar this week. Like, I think the Texans are the better team. So do I want the Texans to win and advance, and that's potentially down the line a tricky game for the Pats.
Who we have to play.
Or, obviously, if by the time the Pats play the Steelers, potentially, they will have won a game and they'll have maybe a bit more confidence. I don't know.
No, I just want the Steelers. I just want Aaron Rodgers to be gone. I just can't stand Aaron Rodgers. It's like
I
just
can't
visceral. It's the Bills level of just can't stand the Bills, divisional rivalry and all this. Hate the Bills.
Do you think the Bills will beat the Jags? I know you don't want them to, right? Or rather, I know you.
Trying to be realistic,
the Jags to win that.
Probably will. They probably will. Now,
I don't think they will. I haven't
watched the Jags enough in my defense. I'll be honest with you.
The Jags have been playing really well the past maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
They need to have been to get where they are. So it's a bit of a it's a given. I haven't watched them to know.
I think the Bills would have rather played the Pats than the Jags. Because, and I do think the Pats are playing well, obviously. I'm not pretending we're not. But I think the Bills, obviously, they just beat us in our place a few weeks ago. They'd be thinking we can go back there and do it again. I think the Jags might be a tough assignment for them, having to go down to Florida.
1.5 this year. Sorry.
I got a feeling the Jags might win that. And again, it's possibly me speaking more with the heart than the head on what I want to happen over versus.
See, I told you he has feelings.
I do think the Texans will beat. I do think the Texans will beat the Steelers.
I do hope so.
I think we'll get to.
I do hope that defense slams Aaron Rodgers to the floor over and over and over again. Because I will watch it on repeat. Not that I'm condoning violence, folks.
Fair enough.
Okay. Hurry up. We need to wrap it up.
How do you think the Chargers game's going to go? You're pleased that that's the matchup the Pats have got?
I think so, but I don't want to sort of just take it for granted that they'll just beat them. But I'm kind of at the moment, which I don't. Yeah,
I'm not taking it for granted. It's the matchup I would have wanted of the 3 teams you could have played. It's the one that I wanted to see. Herbert.
I didn't want to see it at 8:00 East Coast, 1 a.m. UK time, though.
I agree. Herbert is a guy who can just make things happen. I'm not going to use the Superman word because I know you hate it, and also because he's probably not that good. But it is that kind of vibe of like, if you just have to put someone on his back, some games he can do it.
To be fair, I don't mind so much if you use the term for him. It's how everybody used it for Allen over and over and over and over.
I think he's
ramming
justified
it down my throat. No.
It's justified for Allen.
Makes me gag.
He can just take his team on his shoulders. I think it's a good matchup for the Pats. The one benefit that the Chargers will have is they rested a lot of starters at the weekend. They kind of punted on that last game against the Broncos, so they will have some rested players.
I think the Patriots have got a very strength of mentality at the moment. They're fit, they're sort of looked at as the underdogs and they're using it as fuel to keep going and just keep moving forward and keep moving forward. Now, you can't really rely on that alone, but I think that's going to help them. And with having, because they're supposed to have some of the guys back, aren't they? I mean, we're not really reporting that they are going to be back because we don't know, but if they've got those individuals back, it really strengthens up the defense much more. So I think that I'll be closer to the time, knowing who isn't starting and stuff, knowing who is out due to injury. That's when I'm going to know more how I feel. At the moment, I'm very much like, it feels a little bit indifferent because I need to know who's going to be starting and stuff, because I think that's going to be an extra key for this particular game. and obviously going forward. I know it seems a given. I'm just sort of saying.
So do you have a score prediction?
I don't. I couldn't do one. I was just like, do you have a score prediction?
My score prediction is Pats win 27-24. And that field goal will be the difference.
Oh, gosh. I really don't want that discussion.
Well, Pats are making it in my book, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
I think it'll be close. I feel like it's a game the Pats might lead and be the better team, and it's deserving. So 27-24 almost sounds maybe like it's obviously going down to the wire, which it would be, but I feel like it's, again, the Pats are maybe going to lead and be the deserved team through. They're just not going to blow a team out.
24-20 Patriots.
Okay. It's just come to you.
Yeah, it just did.
Well, I think there's a chance.
But I reserve the right to amend that.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to talk on next week?
No, I think we should really give people their time back.
One, and I'm going to put you on the spot, so your answer, you might not have an answer. Now we know the 14 playoff teams. If you were to pick, I'll ask you maybe a couple of questions here. Who, if the Pats were to get to the Super Bowl, who would you want them to play? And then completely separate to that, what do you think the Super Bowl matchup is going to be?
I can't remember who's through on the NFC.
Okay.
There's the Seahawks,
Rams, 49ers.
Yeah.
Eagles.
It's going to be a Patriots Seahawks.
Bears. The Panthers. And one other team that I'm.
No, it's going to be a Patriots.
Not picking up yet.
Who's come full circle?
The Packers.
Yeah, no. Patriots, Seahawks, Super Bowl.
I think you're right. I think that's what it genuinely could be.
We sort of, it's been weird that we've ticked off these strange milestones and things have gone full circle and stuff like that with the whole Vrabel thing. And now I'm being all superstitious-y and stuff like that. But they did the, like, Vrabel he broke the Miami curse and the end of the 2019 season when they played the Finns at home, they lost, and that meant they didn't get the bye, and they played the Titans and they were out. So it's kind of come full circle that they played the Finns and they won. I know they didn't get the bye, obviously, but it just feels like there's a couple of things that are coming full circle, and I think a Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl is coming around.
Throw it on the goal line.
But I think we should discuss that a little bit nearer the time. But I think that's where I'm going with it. Just because I can't think of anything, because you just want to keep thinking of the Patriots winning. So you don't really want to think about, well, when they get knocked out, it's going to be this team and this team sort of thing. So
it's good. But it's obviously good we made the postseason. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
I remember when Matt Jones made the playoffs in his first season, we didn't realistically have much hope in that team. It was nice to have got there. We didn't really think we had a team that was going to do anything. There isn't an expectation that the Pats do something here and like it's Super Bowl or bust. But there's also not a fear. You go into it because, and certainly anyone in the AFC, you think Pats can beat them on their day. Pats turn up, Pats play their football. They can score 30 against any of these teams.
This is the thing.
Defense, it's not necessarily a weakness. It's also not as strong as they have been in the past, but potentially they could keep a team below 30, essentially. And You'd like to think that Pats can be in any game in that AFC list of teams, any matchups that they have. So, I remember Kraft saying, because his kind of expectations have deteriorated. First of all, it was like, we need to get back to winning playoff games. Then it was, we just need to get back to the playoffs. And the year after that, in his letter to the season ticket holders, well, yeah, I kind of expect the Pats now to win a playoff game. And I like that we're going to be disappointed this time next week if the Pats have lost a playoff game. It's not just it was nice to get there. Our expectations have changed, and no, actually, we're a good football team. We kind of expect to be at least competitive, and damn good chance of us winning.
Throwing this out there, the Patriots have only conceded more than 30 points once this season so far. And they've conceded 27 points once this season. And that was, and they still won that game. They've conceded more than 30 points once and they lost that game. They've conceded 27 points once and won that game. And everything else has been 24 or less.
Yeah, I
just thought I'd add the information.
No, that's fair, and you probably won't like this, but I think for me this is more about passing an eye test. The offenses you played, the quarterbacks you played, have not been that stellar. Okay. In the off season, you're going to be facing some of the best offenses, obviously, in the league. That's why they're in the postseason. I don't, there's going to be games. I should think. I'm not expecting the Pats to keep every team below 27 points if they play 4 games now in the postseason. They're going to come under a lot more pressure than they have done for the rest of the season.
That's fair. It was just, I found it interesting that after that, it was only once type thing. But yes, I appreciate that is the narrative going around is the schedule, but you can only play who you're playing, so who's in front of you. So anyway, we really should wrap it up, else people won't be tuning into the post-season shows because they'll be like, I don't have enough time in my day to listen to you guys argue this much about just football. So, are we done?
Last question. No, we're not. Last question because I've asked. We happy with refs this week? How's Claire's ref watch?
We don't have time for this. We really don't have time.
There was angry.
A couple of things. There was a couple of things probably, but we'll save that, folks. We won't really go there. Let's just move on because people want their day back and it's a nearly 45-minute show and we're supposed to be a 30-minute show. So apologies, everybody, that he hasn't been quiet and we're now up against the wire as usual. So I do hope that you will tune in next week when we will be discussing the game against the Chargers. Let's hope we are discussing a win against the Chargers. Fingers crossed and all that, folks. Tune in next time. Happy New Year. And as always, go Pats.
No more naps, LFG.